William Smith Monroe, born September 13, 1911, in Rosine, Kentucky, emerged from the rolling hills of Ohio County to shape one of America's most distinctive musical genres. Though frail and reclusive in childhood, often mocked for his crossed eyes and slight stature, Bill Monroe's inner world teemed with melody and rhythm. By the time he was 10, he had begun to channel his loneliness into music, learning the mandolin largely because all the other instruments in his large family were already spoken for. This instrument, viewed as secondary at the time, would eventually become his mighty voice. His parents, James Buchanan Monroe and Melissa Vandiver Monroe, cultivated a home rich in song and spirit. Melissa played fiddle and harmonica, and her brother Pendleton, Uncle Pen Vandiver, was a fiddler of local acclaim. Uncle Pen raised young Bill after the death of both parents and taught him the cadences and stories of rural Kentucky through music. Monroe often said it was Pen's precise bow shuffle and impeccable timing that gave him his own musical compass. Another towering figure in Monroe's musical growth was Arnold Schultz, a black fiddler and guitarist whose blues-infused phrasing and rhythm left a lasting imprint. From Schultz, Monroe absorbed syncopation and tonal color rarely heard in Appalachian music. By 1929, economic hardship pulled Monroe north to Indiana, where he joined his brothers Charlie and Birch working at an oil refinery. They played music at dances and on radio shows, quickly gaining local popularity. Birch eventually left music, but Bill and Charlie formed the Monroe Brothers, blending spiritual harmonies and intricate picking in a style that captivated Southern audiences. Their first recordings in 1936, including the breakout hit, "What Would You Give in Exchange for Your Soul?" marked a new direction for mountain music. Still, tension between the strong-willed siblings led to their split in 1938. Bill Monroe's vision of a larger, more expressive sound drove him to assemble a new group, the Bluegrass Boys, named in honor of Kentucky. In October 1939, he secured a coveted spot on Nashville's Grand Ole Opry, stunning audiences with his high-octane version of Jimmie Rodgers' Mule Skinner Blues. His piercing tenor, driven mandolin, and forceful stage presence made an immediate impression. Over the next several years, Monroe cycled through musicians, honing what would soon become a genre unto itself. The defining moment came in late 1945, when Lester Flatt and Earl Scruggs joined the Bluegrass Boys. Flatt's solid rhythm guitar and clear baritone harmonies laid the foundation, while Scruggs revolutionized the banjo with a blistering three-finger style that turned the instrument into a lead voice. With Chubby Wise on fiddle and Howard Watts on bass, this lineup recorded trailblazing tracks like Blue Moon of Kentucky, Molly and Ten Brooks, and My Rose of Old Kentucky. That period birthed the archetypal blueprint of bluegrass: rapid tempos, intricate instrumental breaks, and harmonies that soared, wept, and sometimes scalded. Monroe's mandolin, played with dazzling speed and a sharp percussive chop, became the heartbeat of the ensemble. He didn't simply write songs, he carved them from the soil and stone of his experience, blending the ghostly echoes of Scotland with the hard luck of Southern farm life. In 1949, Monroe left Columbia Records in protest after the label signed the Stanley Brothers, whom he accused of imitation. He signed with Decca, later MCA, launching what many regard as his golden period. Through the 1950s, Monroe created enduring standards such as Footprints in the Snow, Uncle Pen, and Roanoke, working with an ever-changing roster of musicians. He never hesitated to push his players to their limits, earning a reputation for both brilliance and exacting discipline. His demanding nature was notorious. Band members often came and went, but Monroe's vision never wavered. He demanded total commitment and attention to detail, once declaring of lesser acts, "That ain't no part of nothin'." Yet many who passed through his group went on to reshape the genre in their own way. Jimmy Martin, Carter Stanley, Del McCoury, and Peter Rowan among them. His insistence on precision may have alienated some, but it also cemented bluegrass as a form rooted in discipline as much as passion. The late 1950s posed a challenge. Rock and roll surged, and Nashville's smooth, countrypolitan sound reigned on the airwaves. Bluegrass seemed antiquated to many, and Monroe's popularity dipped. But rather than dilute his sound, he held fast. He kept touring and recording, his music a lifeline to rural audiences and those who found solace in something raw and real. In the 1960s, a different crowd began to take notice. College students and folk revivalists saw in Monroe the authenticity they craved. With guidance from folklorist Ralph Rinzler, Monroe's music reached new venues, from urban campuses to the Newport Folk Festival. Rinzler also popularized the phrase "Father of Bluegrass," anchoring Monroe's legacy. By 1967, he had founded the Bean Blossom Bluegrass Festival in Indiana, solidifying his role not just as a performer, but as a guardian of tradition. He continued to tour tirelessly, playing festivals, churches, parks, and even international stages. He performed for 4 U.S. presidents, received the National Heritage Fellowship in 1982, and earned a Grammy in 1989 for his album Southern Flavor. As Monroe aged, his fire barely dimmed. He released duet albums with younger artists and jammed with admirers like Emmylou Harris, the Oak Ridge Boys, and Ricky Skaggs. His songbook expanded with poignant instrumentals like Jerusalem Ridge and reflective compositions such as My Last Days on Earth, written during a cancer scare in 1981. His final performance came in March 1996. A stroke the following month ended his ability to play. On September 9, 1996, just days before his 85th birthday, Bill Monroe died in Springfield, Tennessee. The music world paused. At the Ryman Auditorium in Nashville, and again in Rosine, Kentucky, tributes poured forth from friends, former bandmates, and grieving fans. What Monroe left behind wasn't just a genre, but a lifeblood pulsing through decades. He lifted the mandolin from obscurity and placed it front and center. He bridged Scots-Irish ballads and African-American blues, rural gospel and jazz improvisation. With every strike of his pick and every yelp of his tenor, Monroe told stories of heartbreak, joy, hard labor, and redemption. Bluegrass is more than fast fingers and harmony vocals. It is Bill Monroe's soul turned outward. Through thousands of performances, 500 recordings, and a legacy passed down through generations, he changed the sound of American music forever. In quiet hollers and bustling cities alike, his music still rattles the rafters. His mandolin may be silent now, but its echoes remain defiant and alive.